All right, in this video, we're going to be working on the 5.3 Chevelle LS turbo engine, and we're going to be installing brand new Delphi LS7 style lifters, new head gaskets, and bolting on our heads that were rebuilt. Okay, so here are my brand new lifters. There are Delphi LS7 style lifters. Cost about 160 bucks for all these lifters, plus all new trays. And what I've done is I've wiped these down with some brake clean and a lint-free cloth out of the box because, you know, the cardboard gets a little dusty. And then I squirted some oil on all these surfaces and these as well. So you can see that they have a little bit of lube on it. So you just pop them in the trays. Doesn't matter which way. Like this way or that way, it doesn't matter. So just go ahead and jam them in there, and these trays prevent them from rotating, because if they were to rotate, they would, you know, wipe out the cam, right? So, okay, so those are nice and lubed up, and we can just drop this in the motor. Here are our bolts that will torque to 106 inch-pounds is the spec. All right, here we go. These trays will only fit in one way. See this little recess? It's for this, to clear this boss here. Alright, so those are in there. Okay, notice there's a shoulder on this bolt, so you want to make sure the shoulder contacts the block and it doesn't squeeze the tray at all. That's pretty simple so far. Here's our next one. And our cam lobes definitely have lube on it. And we're also going to prime this motor. You know, pressure feed oil in and rotate it, so these will get nice and lubed up for sure. Okay, now we're on this side. And there's no way for these bolts to back up because, you know, the head's going to be here, the head gasket and the head. So these things can't even back all the way out if they wanted to. Okay, here are my heads back from the machine shop. They pressure tested them, decked it, did a 3-angle valve job. No parts were replaced other than the springs. Okay, so the springs obviously we replaced with the PAC 1218 springs for the Elgin E1840P cam. Now, I provided them with all the information, and right here are the cam specs, is that the spring pressure has to be 120 pounds on seat and 300 pounds open. And then the springs came with the installed height, which is the distance from the head to the bottom of the retainer, and the machine shop just set them all up per these specifications, right? And we got new guide seals and whatnot. So this is ready to bolt on. They look real nice, and we're not going to have leakage rates like we did in the past. Okay, for the head gaskets, I am using GM part number 124-98544. Okay, this is an LS1/5.3 head gasket, okay? And it's a 3-layer MLS. So right here it says 5.7, high output 5.3. Okay, so did a little research online, and it looks like a lot of guys are using this in boosted applications just fine, and they're cheap. They're like 50 or 60 bucks for a pair. Okay, I know LS9 are really popular, but I found that the bore size of the gasket is much larger, and I just feel that messes up your squish a little bit, okay? So there we go. We're ready to put the head on. And note that this says front, okay? So over here, this coolant jacket lines up, and so does this back here, okay? So we're all good there. And also, I forgot, I put the dowel pins in ahead of time, okay? So let me go get the head. Okay, GM head bolts are torque to yield, so you're supposed to use brand new head bolts when you torque down the heads. So here are brand new bolts. They're cheap too. I got them for like 15 bucks for each side. Okay, let's just run these in a little bit. Alright guys, so I came here to Summit Racing. They have assembly torque specs by engine. So they got the Gen 3 aluminum, iron, 4 aluminum, 5 iron. So anyway, I got a Gen 3 iron block. If you click on here, they have all the torque specs for the whole engine. So I printed this out and I've been referencing it throughout my build. But one thing I want to mention is for cylinder head bolts, you have your fist pass. Oh, they got a little typo here. Fist pass. First pass, second pass, and final pass. One thing I want to mention is there are two different lengths of cylinder head bolts. There's 101 millimeters long and 155.5. All of my head bolts, the large ones, the M11, are 101. Okay, so if you have a different version of engine, you're going to have a few that might be at 155. So in that case, the final pass is 90, not 50. And in my case, the final pass will be 50 degrees for everything. So just visit their website. They have it all right here. All right, first pass is on the big bolts, and it's to 22 foot-pounds. And you can get the torque specs from Summit Racing. They have this nice chart right here. Also, I'll put up the sequence so you can see which ones go in order. So this is number 1 right here. Okay, I'm not going to do these 10 mil bolts over here till the very end. Okay, second pass, we have to go with a rotation of 90 degrees. So I'm going to try this Lyle tool, which has a clamp. So let's see how this works. Okay, we'll tighten it up, take all the slack, and then I guess you just spin this guy, line it up to 0, and now I'll go 90. Yeah, this tool works pretty nice. Okay, we'll go over here. We'll go from 90 to 180. What's nice is this flexible thing, you can just leave it clamped in several spots. All right, let's redo this to 0. $90. All right, we're on number 7. Let me zoom in here and I'll show you what's going on. So this little guy spins, you loosen the lock nut. I'm over here on 0, and we'll just go to 90. And I can't see, of course, but the camera, good camera angle, right? All right, so that was the second pass. Third pass is 50 degrees, okay? So we'll start back over here. I'm sorry, over here. And we're just going 50 degrees. So this is our third and final pass on the big ones. Okay, so those are all done. Okay, see, these are all 22 foot-pounds. We start over here. This is number 11. We'll do these last. And this is 12. $13. 14. And 15. All right, so that head is done. Okay, guys, I want to make a couple comments about this tool from Lyle. First glance, you know, when I saw this online, I'm like, no way, this thing's cheesy. It's not going to work. You know, you got this flexible thing and you got a battery clamp. I'm like, this thing can't possibly work that well. Okay, but I bought it anyway. I wanted to try it, and let me tell you, I really like it. It's 30 bucks, and what's nice is, you know, first of all, flat out works, but if you clamp this guy, for example, in the cylinder head, you saw me clamp it right in the middle, well, you can jump in between like 5 different fasteners before you actually have to move this. And if you're good, if you pick a good spot, you might not even have to move it at all. So that's awesome. I mean, no messing around with it. Now, earlier in the video series, you saw me buy just the round one, and it had a little thing off to the side. It was like 10 bucks. Those things are garbage. I mean, I bought a few of them over the years from different companies, and guess what? They're kind of all the same, all right? Someone's making these, and they're just rebadging them as different names or whatever. I can't stand that one. I've bought it several times, and I've returned it each time because I was unhappy with it. But this guy right here, man, it works. Flat out works. This number dial, this degree wheel here is a sticker, but whatever, it works. So I'm really happy with this guy. All right, same thing on this side. We got our dowel pins in. Okay, clean the head surface with brake clean. We have our brand new head gasket. See here it says front, but we need to flip it over. Goes like that. So make sure this passage is here, and then these two are back here. Okay, that looks really good. Let me go get the head.